Hi guys, welcome to my channel. So I made a bit of a boob in terms of I was just too excited to get my ghost story video out, and then I realised I had nothing for Halloween weekend, and that's a bit crap really, isn't it, when you're into all your ghosty stuff and you forget to actually include something ghosty for Halloween. So I'm putting together something really quick. Hopefully it works. So hopefully you enjoy this. So basically I am going to do a reaction video to episode of, I think it's My Haunted Hotel, and I think it's basically these guys have basically set up a business where they own a hotel that is reportedly haunted, and they get people to stay at the hotel and actually do some ghost hunting while they're there. It's a really great concept, and one day hopefully maybe I can actually go and stay there. The episode we're going to be watching today, it involves two of my favourite people within the sort of supernatural media stuff that I listen to. So it's from two podcasts. So you have Emma, who does real life ghost stories. Again, absolutely amazing. I think she was like my first sort of steps into the paranormal podcast stuff. And yeah, absolutely highly recommend. She works so hard at her podcast, and it really shows. Absolutely amazing podcast. So I would highly recommend it if you can give it a listen. I'm going to leave a link below for you. The second guy that's with her is a guy called Kevin, who does We Need to Talk About Ghosts, another one of my favourites. I actually found out about him through listening to Emma. And yeah, I make sure I listen to him now whenever I go running, because if I listen to anything else, sometimes I get a bit creeped out, especially when I'm running by myself. So I always listen to him because he's very like jovial, he's absolutely hilarious. I always find myself when I'm running always like running out of breath and laughing at the same time. So yeah, highly recommend. He has two podcasts actually. We Need to Talk About Ghosts and Dark Paranormal. I tried listening to Dark Paranormal on my runs, and one of them scared the absolute shit out of me, so I've never done that since. So yeah, We Need to Talk About Ghosts is a great one to listen to when you're running, because it's just full of banter and yeah, just absolutely brilliant. This basically is, I think, their very first ghost hunt, even though they have been doing obviously these ghost podcasts for ages, for years I think. They've never actually done their own sort of ghost hunt, and talking from experience, I know when you go on your very first ghost hunt, it's absolutely terrifying because you just don't know what to expect. So it'll be interesting to see how they react on their very first ghost hunt. So yeah, I'm looking forward to watching this with you guys. Let's get started, shall we? Here we go, guys. Liking the creepy ambience already. My Haunted Hotel features real people who have booked an experience at the hotel. All footage featured is real, nothing else is added. Liking the intro. Creepy dolls, always good. 13 hauntings in terms of you've got 13 ghosts. 15-hour lockdown, they leave you in there for 15 hours. Might reconsider doing this.
The beginning of another week in Chester, and the 400-year-old My Haunted Hotel.
Me and Danny been doing loads of research. We come across some plans from 1976 of what the building used to look like.
I like this sort of
so
stuff.
We've got a secret staircase behind the upstairs bar. Yeah, a lot of things that we can't make head and tail of at the moment.
I do like the fact, I have to say, that they're researching it as they go along to actually see if it makes any sense in terms of what they're getting matches up with the history of the place. I like that sort of stuff. I like where they try and match up the facts with the investigations. It's always a good sign.
Was rumoured to be a Masonic lodge. Really secret stuff going on, and the research is still going on now.
I don't know what, whenever I hear Freemasons mentioned when it comes to like haunted places, it makes me go a bit like, it's kind of like what people go to, I think, as like a almost like, I guess, like a witchcraft sort of thing. It's like, oh, Freemasons were involved, so therefore it's all dark and sinister and everything. I mean, obviously we don't know like for sure what went on with the Freemasons, but it always just seems, I don't know, it gets my back up sometimes when everyone like mentions the Freemasons as something that's involved with a haunted place, just like they're trying to I don't know. It's just like the key word for whenever people bring up ghosties in haunted places. I don't know. It's just, yeah, something that I've always found anyway. Don't know about you.
Paula and Carly featured in episode 8, and they have returned, determined to discover the secret.
They had a pentagram on the floor. I'm assuming they put that there. Have they actually done one of the rooms up to be like a witch's room or something? I don't agree with that. Because then you're just inputting on people. I mean, obviously you have the whole thing of, like you're saying about it being haunted, so like you're sort of psychologically just printing onto people that they're going to experience something. But then putting like a pentagram on the floor, and when it looked like they had like flickering lights. I don't know if they're actual candle lights. I'm assuming it wouldn't be because it's a fire hazard. So I'm assuming it would be like the flickering sort of candle effect that you get. So yeah, it's just all to maximise just the experience that people have, which is good in a way. But you know, sometimes I do wonder if it's like just taking advantage. I don't know. But anyway, we'll continue and see what happens.
Yeah, fitted the cameras in Yo King's head. A middle-aged couple, I presume about 50 years old, crept in the garage and decided to have sex in the front of my car. Now, this literally...
No. That's so bad. I'm assuming that's not the sort of activity they want to be capturing on their cameras.
He's going at it for a good hour.
No!
Now, I might be like a bit of a pair, but...
That's so bad.
We are joined by Real Life Ghost Stories podcast.
Hey,
We Need to
Emma.
Talk About Ghosts podcast.
And Kevin.
We'll be spending the night in room 6.
I'm really excited about today. I'm really excited. These guys look quite scared, considering they run paranormal podcasts and everything. I thought they'd be a little bit more hardened, but they look absolutely terrified. We have room 6.
That's what I love about the fact that because I remember them talking about it on their podcast, and I was really excited to watch it. But I wanted to leave it until I could do like a reaction video. But I just find it absolutely fantastic that this is like I said, they've been doing these podcasts for years, but this is actually, I think, their first ghost hunts they've been on. So, and like I said, your first ghost hunt is probably the most vivid, like you'll have the most memories from it, I think, because that's when you just have so many expectations. You also don't know what to expect at the same time. So yeah, it'll be really interesting to see how they react to it, considering, like you said, they should be hardened ghost the like experience in the paranormal, but they only have the experience, I think, from reading out the stories, not from actually experiencing anything themselves. So
And room 5.
Oh, it's the one with the rocket jet.
What?
And the pentagram.
Oh, you joking?
No.
Is this how bright it is, full stop? Oh, no.
that, to be fair, that would be me if I walked into like a dimly lit room and it was full of dolls. I'd be like, no, fuck that, I'm not going in there. No, I had dolls as a kid and it scared the shit out of me, and it would be even worse as an adult. Just no.
You bitch. What the you...
Why is a doll on the floor?
Do you know, when we were doing the interviews before, I heard some...
Why is the doll on the floor? Because I didn't notice that. But they've got a huge industrial fan in there. Like it could have been blown off by the fan, I'm assuming.
Now, obviously, Brett, you put the fan in room 5, but the interesting thing about this is the fan had been going for 2 hours before that doll fell.
Yeah, I specifically set the fan facing the opposite direction of the doll because I didn't want to try and affect it in any way. As always, if we ever set the doll up for whatever reason, we'd bang on the shelf and make sure it's standing solid, but it could have been the fan.
So for the simple fact that you've had it in there 2 hours and then the doll randomly falls, and as we can see now, the fan is still going in room 5. I've reset the doll and it's not falling. If it was the fan, it'd constantly be falling.
Well, not really, I think. If it's just blowing the doll slightly, surely it could just like fall over time. It wouldn't just fall instantly. I mean, you can see like that. There's a puppet on the wall that's kind of like swinging because it's in the path of the fan. So it's quite a powerful fan, it looks like. So I don't know. Maybe there's vibration from the fan. I don't know. But the fact that obviously that is an ongoing thing with that doll falling off the shelf, I do wonder. I mean, they say they bang on the shelf to make sure the doll's standing steady, but you never see them do that. So I don't know. I'm not like calling them liars or anything. It's just something that I wouldn't consider as evidence until I could place the doll up there myself and was happy that it wasn't going to fall over. I think that would be my, like, how I would do it if I was to stay there.
Interestingly enough as well,
I keep thinking somebody's going to grab my leg from under the bed.
Don't say that.
It is just, yeah, you can just tell they are just instantly freaked out already. Nothing's even happening. It's going to be funny.
Right, I'm going to put my feet up. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah, Bubs had one of those balls that like you just nudge and it lights up. So I like them as those little things. I do like because it's something that it's not like just something that's randomly generated, like the word generator thing. At least with the ball, you know, something has had to have moved it in order for it to light up. And it could be like the lightest touch or whatever, but I like that. I mean, again, you could argue that it's just because they're on like creaky floorboards and because one of them, I think, stepped back at the time, then it made the floor move, hence the ball moved and things like that. You don't know, but I like that sort of touch when you do ghost hunts, when it's just things that don't necessarily can't have sort of human interference or whatever, or just be a random, like I said, word generator. I just have a thing about the obvious, sorry.
Is that Sarah?
So now they're stepping away. The ball's not doing anything.
Is it Billy?
Hello there. Is somebody walking on the corridor outside room 1?
See, again, I like the fact they're being hands off and they're staying in their little office, just watching to make sure like they're okay and everything, and to see if they hear anything. I don't know how busy the hotel is when people are staying there, like when they're doing the ghost hunts, if there's still people walking around, or maybe because it's in the middle of the night, I don't know. But you would expect that they wouldn't have other guests like that are trying to sleep while you're having people doing a ghost hunt, because obviously ghost hunts can be quite noisy because of like people traipsing around and using like the walkie-talkies or calling out and stuff. So you would expect that they only have like those rooms rented out, I guess, when they do a ghost hunt. So again, I don't know. So yeah, so that's really like, because that seems to be quite a common thing here, is that corridor, people walking up and down, which is cool. So yeah, as long as, yeah, it's again, because I don't know if the hotel actually has other guests, it's kind of like, I don't know whether or not that would be like compelling evidence, or if it would just be a thing you could just shrug off and say, well, that could be another guest walking around. See, because that's quite apparent. So to me, that's quite compelling.
Oh, the weirdest thing just happened!
In the room we just heard?
Sorry?
I think we just heard a knock as we came on and you asked, was that you out in the corridor?
So I just got a knock from under the bed. Like, it knocked on the underside of the bed.
Right, okay. Yeah, we literally got onto the camera to watch you, and you said, is there someone? And we heard a knock, but we weren't sure where it had come from. We'll just get a quick look back on that one so we can have a proper look at what it could have been. Bear with a second.
I love how she's like, yeah, I'm getting up to it. I love it. She's so brave. I couldn't do that by myself. I'd need my husband in there with me. But yeah, that's cool. The fact that she's actually felt something, like, that's the sort of evidence that I like to have. I mean, yeah, it could be the bed settling, I don't know, but the fact that she's actually sat on the bed. So surely she would recognise whether it's just like the bed creaking or whatever, or it was actually someone, like, I think you would be able to tell the difference between a knock and like just like a spring going or something in the mattress. Well, I would think that you would know the difference. Yeah. So but yeah, so that's cool that she felt that.
And we are in room 6. We're in the room with the pentagram on the floor and the rocking chair. Feels fine.
Yeah, and the doll and a demon called Boone. You know, they've literally
pack that room full of scary.
Hi, I'm Jane. Room.
You know, they just cut him off like, yeah, it's just full of scary shit. But yeah, the fact that they're not feeling anything. So, but obviously, yeah, because I think if you were to get loads of activity in one night, I would be incredibly cynical, because they just expect like ghosts to just have so much energy, especially when there's just the two of you, or technically four, because I think there's obviously these two ladies in there as well as Kevin and Emma. So yeah, it's not like a lot of energy to go around. So but yeah, it'll be interesting to see what else they come up with, especially these two as well, this Diane and Jane, see what they find.
Do you know what I really like about this place? What I've just realised is that for believers, it's going to be, this is a Danny Robbins phrase that I'm stealing, but for believers, it's going to be a whodunit. You know what I mean? You're going to be thinking, was it this ghost, that ghost, whatever. For skeptics, it's going to be a how done it. They're going to be trying to figure out, okay, I heard a knock, but what was it? Yeah. And I feel like that's the real allure with this place.
Yeah, exactly. That's like me in terms of just seeing like what, like I said, I think as a sort of, I think I lean more towards skeptic than believer when it comes to these sort of ghost hunts. But like I want the evidence to be real, but a lot of the time I just think it can be explained away. But yeah, I'm the same as her. Like I agree with her in terms of, if you're a believer, you will go in thinking, oh, who could have done that? Is it the ghost of the child, or is it the ghost of the prostitute that was murdered, or whatever? But when you're a skeptic, it's how would that have happened? How can I explain it away to the point that there's no other explanations for it other than the fact it was a ghost? And that's where it's interesting how you see that, and you can see the difference between someone who is a skeptic and a believer, because they're like, oh, it could have been this or it could have been that, where the believer will be like, oh, it could have been this person or it could have been that person, sort of thing.
Emma and Kev are in the diary room. Is it a Geordie accent?
That was quite good.
No, I wasn't trying to do a Geordie accent.
Oh,
Is it a Geordie accent?
Emma and Kev are in the diary room. That was quite good.
As the investigation moves on, we say,
I have to say, Kev seems really on edge. Emma's just like, yeah, I'm just having a great time. And he's just like, I'm just waiting for something to happen. Or I don't know if it's just he's really tired and he's just really disappointed that nothing's happened. I don't know. But yeah, he does seem quite restrained, not being the word. I'm trying to think the word I'm trying to think of. Just a lot more quiet than I'd expect him to be on a sort of ghost hunt, I think.
Yeah, what was that?
Oh, it's a baby crying again. Just staring at each other.
No. Give me that radio.
I just love how they're just dropping F-bombs like there's no tomorrow. It's great.
That was loud.
I'm actually not joking right now. There has to be a real baby somewhere around this building.
Did you hear that?
See there, I can hear like, it sounds like people chatting. So I don't know if that's like someone outside their window, but the thuds are obviously really interesting because that doesn't go really with the chatting. That sounds like someone actually knocking.
You both just heard like footsteps banging kind of thing.
Well, I heard that earlier when I was in room 1 as well.
Did you really?
Yeah, like outside the door.
See, I don't know if from Kevin's face, if he's kind of like cynical. I really can't. Yeah, I can't read him. Like Emma's really sort of like got all the energy and she's really buzzing from it. I think that like, the adrenaline's pumping with her. But yeah, from Kevin, it kind of just feels like he's not sure. He's not sure if he believes it or not. I think. I don't know. Let's keep watching.
Have you got a name for the lady who threw herself out the window?
Harriet.
That was mad.
That was way off.
You ask for a name and then it says a name. I think that's quite cool. Unless it's like part of the ovulus, that if it looks out for the word name, and if you say name, then it just shouts a name back at you. I don't know, but yeah, I just have it. I just have it up for the obvious.
I wish for you all, so we can see you. Oh my God! Sorry, did you just kick my foot? Don't take the attention, I haven't moved. Oh my God! I know you just broke out my foot. No, I've been. I put my out. I can't look. I've been sat here. I'm so sorry. It's okay. Oh! I got it behind.
Okay, I'm kind of like, yeah, when people do this at a ghost hunt, I find it just so cynical. Like, I can't believe any of that sort of stuff. And the fact it's the people that work there that are the ones doing this reaction. It's like when you watch like Ghost Adventures or Most Haunted, and they react like that to like get a reaction sort of thing. And I do feel really bad for like Kev and Emma at this point, because they are probably like, this probably just scared the shit out of them that this guy's just like jumped at them sort of thing. I just don't agree with doing that sort of stuff. I just can't. I'm incredibly cynical on that bit. Like the fact that you have something like, and when you're like, as well, like when you're nudged or whatever, if something like that was to happen, you do not react like that. Like I said, I had my bum pinched at like my very first ghost thing, very first ghost hunt, and yeah, I looked around to see what it was, but I didn't act like that, and I've never seen anyone else act like that I know is there like genuinely. The only people that I've seen act like that are the sort of people that like, again, want to be the center of attention, to like desperate to believe that something's there, or 3, they just want to act up and just pretend that something's there. And yeah, I just don't agree with that at all, to be honest. Yeah, that's really annoyed me actually. It's just like, it's like everything that's just come before that, like I could have like I said, almost seen as genuine, but now they've done something like that. It's like, what else has been put on? I don't know. I'm just disappointed, really.
Sorry. Jesus Christ.
A female voice manifests over the white noise, and we believe she says, "The way." We have no idea what this means, and with.
So, was that like? Did that come from the Alice box? I don't know. It was kind of weird. I might have to watch that bit again. But again, the biggest reactions you're getting are from the people that own this place and that run the ghost hunts. That's why I just find it really cynical. Like, you're seeing Kevin and the other lady, I think it's Diane, jumping, but they're jumping at those guys' reactions. They're not jumping at what they've heard. And like Emma and the other lady, Jane, are just sat there kind of just like they go like, oh, what was that? That's how you act when you on these ghost hunts, when you're like, when you hear these things, you don't act how the owners act. And that, to me, it just really sort of cheapens it almost. And yeah, I'm just not, no.
Within seconds.
Oh my God, the REM pod's going off. Something behind the bar.
Why? No.
The REM device on the bar is activated unexplainably, and upon review of our thermal imaging camera, we capture this strange anomaly, which has a cold heat source and moves directly behind Brett and I. At the same time the REM device is activated. The REM measures disturbances around the device itself.
Well, I've actually found it quite enlightening, I think. I've been freaked out a number of times tonight. Yeah.
And that's you as a skeptic as well, isn't it? From a skeptical point of view. I mean, as a believer, I specifically towards the end of the night when we had the REM pod going off, we could hear a voice coming through like at the static box. That kind of put the cherry on the cake for me.
So yeah, so like I think again that kind of redeems it a little bit after like their overreaction. The REM thing, the REM pod, as Kevin was saying, yeah, that's kind of the one thing at the end I was kind of like, oh, that's interesting, like, because it just randomly goes off, but then I don't know if it's the sound maybe that set it off, because it's just such a high frequency and obviously it's hurting everyone's ears at that point, so maybe that set it off or something, I don't know. And yeah, I don't know what that thing was, because I don't know if like people have seen, I think in recent years it's been debunked, the whole thing with orbs, because it just shows it's just dust floating around in the air. So the fact that it got picked up by the like thermal imaging, I don't know. I'd be intrigued to see what a cynic's thought on that would be, like what it could be. Could it just be a giant fat orb that just go in front of the camera? I don't know. I don't know what like thermal signature a like particle of dust would set off on the camera. But yeah, that's the one bit at the end I was like, it's quite interesting. But yeah, let's just see what else they've got to say first before I give my own opinion.
That last session that we did with the voice, whether it came through the spirit box or whether it came through in the actual room, that was scary. That was a horrible voice, and I feel like it was worse in real life than it's probably going to sound on camera. But whether or not it's unexplainable, I don't know. But did it freak me out? Yes.
I'd say that the good thing about this actual location is there were several times tonight when one of us would hear something or one of us would think we'd experienced something. And because it's a fully immersive experience, you're able to literally walkie-talkie to headquarters and say, can you just look back at the last 5 minutes of this room? You don't get that with any other ghost hunter. You don't get that sort of interaction. You don't get that continued support of knowing that anything that takes place, you can verify it, you can have someone debunk it, which the guys would do, and you'd be left with something that you can't explain, which in your case with something punching underneath your bed happened.
So yeah, that's again like the whole thing of where we've done the ghost hunts and we've not had that opportunity to have the cameras go back and look to see if what we heard was like that we weren't just hearing things sort of thing. You have to rely on other people around you to tell you whether or not there was actually a noise. So yeah, that is the one benefit of doing something like this. So yeah, I would like to stay there, I think, as someone who's I don't see myself as like a seasoned ghost hunter, because I've like I said, I've done probably less than 10. I've experienced enough, I think, to be able to go to somewhere like that and not. Again, I think I would just be cynical and look, like Emma said, like how those noises were made rather than who made those noises.
We heard, for example, someone belly laugh. It freaked me and Emma out, and we were like, someone's just laughed. We were able to ring through on the walkie-talkie, and you guys checked it out and come back and said, yeah, it's people in the next room, don't worry about it.
See, that's cool. And it's good to know that it's not just like obviously now we know there are other people staying in the hotel, which again, it just adds to the whole thing of how do we not know that all those other noises are coming from different people staying at the hotel. That's the only problem, knowing that yeah, there's other people staying. So
pretty much freaked her out.
I think the one thing that we have real.
See, look, you can hear footsteps, right? Like going off behind the camera. Who the hell's that walking around? So it's just there's always going to be, especially in a hotel, and like I said, you're on a main road, there's always going to be outside and out sort of noises going on around you that could very easily explain a lot of the stuff that's going on in this hotel, unfortunately. That's the problem.
Even if you come here completely skeptical and a little bit cynical, you still enjoy the night. It's still an experience overall, which is...
And again, that's why I think I did so many ghost hunts as well. Like I agree with him there in terms of, even if I go to these places and I don't expect to see anything, I used to go on ghost hunts all the time because I was so desperate to feel something. And I most of the time came away disappointed in that respect. It was still a good night. You still had a laugh, especially if you go with your friends. You can have a really, really good night, and it's thrilling, and I do think it is kind of addicting as well when you do it. And like I said, I also love going because a lot of the time they are really, really old houses or really old buildings that you go to. Like this place is like 16th century. It's like not every day you get to experience like staying overnight in a 16th century like building. So yeah, it's that sort of thing. For me, it was more about the experience of, like I said, being in a very old building and just doing these sort of things, like living that moment of just trying to find if ghosts are real. So I'm not going to take that away from them in terms of the fact that they're doing this experience stuff. What I don't like is them trying to pass off things as being real when, to me, it just feels like it's very exaggerated on their part. So especially if you do have people out there that will go to this because they want to reach out to a specific someone, or they want to cement, they're like on the fence and they just want to cement their belief sort of stuff. I just don't like they genuinely want to go along to do the experiments and things. It's, yeah, it kind of taints it a bit, which I think is not very fair. So there we go. So yeah, overall, again, I think I kind of said what I needed to say in terms of there was some evidence that I could agree with and say, yeah, I think that's really compelling evidence. But again, without being there actually in the place, I don't know how compelling it is. Like I said, because it's a hotel, there's obviously numerous people staying there, so you don't know the proximity of the people staying there. Like if there's people in the next room and if they're walking down the corridor, so you hear footsteps outside and different things like that. You have to rely on the integrity of the people that are running it. And the fact that they did the whole jumping and overreacting when they heard noises, or that apparently something touched his hand. To me, I take it with a pinch of salt, and I would be incredibly cynical about the whole thing. Kevin and Emma haven't really said much about their actual event, other than the fact, obviously, like they said, Emma, even though she's a cynic, she really did enjoy the night, and I think that's what is the sort of thing you have to take away from this sort of event, in terms of it's definitely not something where you can say you've come away thinking ghosts definitely exist because of this experience. It's just something they've had a laugh and they've had some really interesting things happen. It's like, why do we go and watch horror movies? Why do we go to escape rooms and in the sort of terrifying mazes that they put on at Halloween and different things like that? You go to be scared, and I think this sort of, you can add to that. This isn't something where you would go to genuinely experiment whether or not, or to find out for yourself if ghosts do exist. This is just something that I think is good to experience as an experience itself. Like I said, one, to stay in a really old building, and also just to get an idea of what to expect on a ghost hunt. But yeah, I don't put it up there as somewhere that I would expect to feel anything sort of real or compelling evidence. I keep using the word compelling, but yes, a compelling evidence for ghosts from here. But like I said, I would like to eventually go there one day. I think it would be great fun. I definitely have to go with friends, I think, just to make a night of it. But again, it's finding friends that would actually go with me, because I have some very scaredy cat friends. Rosie won't go with me. Definitely not. Could try and convince her, but I don't think she would. But anyway, I do hope you enjoyed this video. If you do have any questions or any theories for of your own, then please do comment below. I will leave links to Emma's podcast and Kevin's podcast. Like I said, it's Real Life Ghost Stories is Emma's one, and you have We Need to Talk About Ghosts and Dark Paranormal, which are Kevin's ones. Like I said, all three are absolutely fantastic. I listen to them regularly, so I'd highly recommend them. I will also leave a link to My Haunted Hotels YouTube channel, so you can check out other videos. This is the only one I've seen of theirs. I do want to watch other ones just to see what else they get, so hopefully I can do that in the future. Do not take this as me hating on these guys. Like I said, I think it's absolutely fantastic what they've come up with, and like I said, the fact that I myself actually really want to go and experience it for myself. So yeah, I'm not taking away from them what they've done. I think it's absolutely fantastic what they've set up, and I wish them all the luck in the world with their YouTube channel as well, with the hotel. I think it's a fantastic sort of setup they've got. So yeah, I'd just love to see your comments on it, what you think. Also, if you have any ideas on any reaction videos you'd like me to do, again, if you like this sort of video, like I said, I'm just playing with ideas on what to do with the channel, and with the idea of doing spooky videos and stuff. So if you have any spooky videos that you would like me to watch, I would highly recommend you join my Discord. Again, the link will be down below. I have a spooky space on there where I'm getting people to send me recommendations for scary games to play, scary movies to watch, and again, if you want me to do any reaction videos, some scary videos on YouTube or whatever that you'd like me to watch and do a reaction to that, again, just join the Discord, put it in the spooky space, and I will pin it as something for me to do in the near future. or if there's any ghost stories that you have, I'm also looking for people to send me ghost stories. So again, join the Discord, or you can message me on any social media and I will add it to the list. Also, just to let you know as well, restarting my Patreon. I've also got a Ko-fi, so I'm going to be doing monthly memberships with those, as well as obviously with my Twitch, because obviously I play scary games on Twitch. So if you want to do a monthly subscription, you can, and there's loads of different incentives on there for you to take a look at, so do feel free. Again, all the links will be down below. So I'm going to say on that note, love you guys, and I shall see you in the next video. Bye.